New information on a story we first told you about on Wednesday concerning the growing number of sex offenders living here in Orange County.
An analysis of state numbers show exactly where the largest numbers of them are living. Investigative reporter Christopher Heath joins us live again. And Chris, these clusters are in some pretty populated areas.
And Greg, because of living restrictions for sex offenders, there are only so many places they can live in a metro area. This forces, in some cases, hundreds of sex offenders to live within miles of each other, creating clusters. In rural East Orange County, there are a few dozen convicted sex offenders living within blocks of each other. While if you move west, there are places with hundreds, all stacked into pockets, places that are at least 1,000 feet from a school, playground, or park.
Orange County is not as restrictive.
A convicted sex offender who asked us not to be identified told us because Orange County doesn't place any extra burdens on living, there are plenty of places for offenders to find homes.
I have not found any problems. I've not had any problems.
Even with only minimal restrictions, there are still places offenders can't live. But across the county, these are the zip codes with the most sex offenders. John Young Parkway at the 408, south of Apopka, and off Hiawassee. All three densely populated areas.
If our goal is to rehabilitate and reintegrate people, okay, this may not be the best arrangement to cluster them together.
Ken Adams is a professor of criminal justice at UCF.
It's not the kind of environment that puts them in contact with regular people, that is, non-offenders.
But because of the state-mandated 1,000-foot restrictions and many cities imposing their own additional restrictions, these clusters appear to be growing. And Orange County, followed by Duval, have the most sex offenders in the state. Neither places extra restrictions on living locations, at least in the county. Meanwhile, bigger South Florida counties do have added barriers that make it harder for sex offenders to find a place to live and to work.